Alright, here we go. Hello and welcome to another episode of Tech Canada. This is Mo, and today we have the Xiaomi Mi Mix 2 for review. Now the Xiaomi Mi, and as usual I'm going to go with the specs, the hardware, and then talk about what I liked about the phone, what I didn't like about the phone, and a small conclusion afterwards. So we go on with the specs. Now the Xiaomi Mi Mix 2 comes with a Snapdragon 835 processor, 6 gigabytes of RAM. Now there's a special edition model that came with 8 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of storage. However, this one is the regular model. It came with 6 gigabytes of RAM and 64 gigabytes of storage. There's also a model with 128 gigabytes of storage and 6 gigabytes of RAM. For the battery, it comes with 3,400 milliamp hour battery and comes with quick charge 3.0. When it comes to the camera, at the back we have one camera, single camera, 12 megapixel, and up the front we have a camera right here at the bottom corner that is 5 megapixel camera. Now the screen is 5.99 6-inch screen, 1080p display, and it's a 18 by 9 aspect ratio, so it comes with 1080p 1080 by 2160 resolution, and of course it's Gorilla Glass 4. And for those who care about the PPI, this phone comes with 403 pixel per inch. Alright, now that we did that, we go on with what I liked about the phone. Now, to begin with, the phone has amazing hardware. So when you hold the phone, you have at the front you have glass, at the back you have ceramic, and on the side you have aluminum metal. And it feels nice in the hand. It's very solid. The material used are really excellent. Design-wise, it's really nice. Now, sure, there are some. At the bottom you get some chin, but in order to put all the camera and all the proximity sensors and so on, to put it at the front, they had to make some sacrifices, and and as a result, you get this beautiful design with very small bezels on the top. Sure, there's a chin at the bottom, but you can. It's not very obstructive when you're using the phone. In general, the design is very nice. The camera launched. Continue on with the hardware. The processor, 835, is still an excellent processor, and as a result, the phone is very fast. Now, I noticed after upgrading to Android 9 that there's some stuttering sometimes it comes here and there. It's not there all the time, but in general, the phone is very fast. As you can see, when I jump between apps, it's very fast. Now, MIUI. Now, a lot of people don't like MIUI. However, when using the phone, I honestly didn't mind it. You get used to it. The main thing I didn't like, to be honest about it, was the lack of an app launcher. But what I did, I just put them all in folders and left with that. Instead of making an app drawer, I just made a folder. However, MIUI adds some features such as gestures. So instead of those buttons at the bottom, you can just replace them with gestures, and they work really well. There is call recording, which I really liked when using the phone. So if you want to record the phone call, you can just, whenever you make a phone call, you can let's try it out, see if it shows without a SIM card. Now, as usual, no, it's not there. As usual, I resetted the phone because I don't want any of my personal information to show up by mistake. So it has features such as And of course, screen capture with continuous capture if you want to have an entire article screen captured. Uh, and phone call recording. That's one of the things I already mentioned. It's a really useful feature. All right, so now we go to the things I didn't like about the phone. Now, as I mentioned earlier, after the update, MIUI, I was getting some stuttering, and even after I thought maybe I should reset the phone, and even after I resetted the phone, it was doing the same thing. So it's not always there. It's rarely there, but every now and then when you exit an app or you go through between apps, you get a tiny stutter, and it's noticeable, and it kind of bugged me a bit. And also after the update, I noticed that the battery is uh, is not as good as it used to be, and that one is noticeably worse. I noticed the battery got noticeably worse than it used to, and I really didn't like that as well. Um, and also, I think because the UI was hunting to conserve battery. Whenever I'm using the phone, the brightness. Now, as you can see in here, I turned off auto brightness off. But when I was using the phone, when I was using the phone, it's always hunting for lower brightness, and it's making the experience. I just don't like when phones start hunting for low brightness. Most companies they do that with their phones in order to conserve the battery, but it's for me it's a cheap trick to do the job. Um, and as I mentioned, MIUI is not for everybody. I honestly didn't mind it, but I honestly adapt to the UI very fast. So not everybody might like it. I didn't mind it. It's an alright UI. Except for Mi account because I was constantly getting notifications to sign to Mi account. Mi account purely suck. I don't want to sign into Mi account. Um, the camera on the phone was average. Um, it's obviously not the best camera you can get. It's not bad. It's serviceable, I would say. When it comes to the screen, um, the screen is for an LCD. It's an excellent LCD. However, for me, it's still an LCD, so I'm gonna talk about it. I'm not a huge fan of LCDs. I prefer AMOLEDs, but this one has a good screen. It's a good LCD. The brightness is really excellent on it. The resolution, the viewing angle, you don't see huge switching in colors when you move the screen out of your view. So it's an excellent LCD. Screen is okay. I wish it was an AMOLED. I know the Mi Mix 3 they made an AMOLED screen instead of LCD, but for this model it's still an LCD. And the last thing that annoyed me a lot is the location of the proximity sensor. Now, in order to make the phone without any what is called now a forehead on top, they needed to make the bottom section right here a bit thicker, and because of that the front camera is yeah, here you go. So here am I. The front camera is at the corner right here, and it's and the phone even tells you to rotate the phone in order to grab a picture or a selfie or so on, and it's really annoying. So that's one of the things I didn't like about the phone, the location of the front-facing camera. Uh, Now I don't take a lot of selfies, so for me in the end it was not a big deal. However, what was a big deal, I make lots of phone calls, and because I make lots of phone calls, the location of the proximity sensor, which is also at the bottom, right here somewhere, uh, so it wasn't very accurate when compared to regular phones. So lots of time when I'm using the phone, I'm on the phone, I want to do something with the phone afterward, I take it out, try to push a button or something with my finger, and the phone thinks that my face is there, so it shuts down the screen, and that pissed me off a lot. But other than that, it's a small inconvenience. A lot of people will probably wouldn't mind that. Or to be honest, a lot of people don't use their phone to make phone calls anymore. So here you go. And that's what I didn't like about the phone. So in conclusion, it's an excellent phone, excellent hardware. Uh, the design made some inconveniences, but uh, if you want a cool design, that's what you pay for. A lot of companies now, they're trying to go around with full display up the front, and as a result you get things like mechanized cameras, notches, all of these things. If you want full display up front, you have to pay a certain price, at least for now, until they figure out a way to put everything under the display. Um, so the bottom line in conclusion, excellent phone, great hardware, feels great. Um, if you can get it now, I got this one about almost a year now. I got it from Amazon. It was for on sale for $400 or so, Canadian dollars, so around 300 US dollars. And if you can get it around that price, then go for it. It's an excellent phone. Actually, now if you can get it for around even probably it's cheaper now. If you get around $250, $300 Canadian, go for it. It's an excellent phone, great hardware, very fast. Uh, and that's my final verdict about the phone. Excellent phone, great hardware. Camera is not the best. MIUI is also not the best, and for the price, it's a great deal. So if you find it for cheap, go for it. You'll use it and you'll like this one. You won't regret it. And that's everything I have about this phone. Again, this is Mo Dabas, and this has been Altec Canada review of the Xiaomi Mi Mix 2. Now, if you, as usual, if you have any comments, down the bottom of the comment section. This is bottom. If you have any questions, same thing, bottom, or you can tweet me at Altec Canada. And that's everything I have to say about this phone. This has been Mo Dabas, and peace.